We continue our work, and I give the floor to the Presidential Administration spokesman on ATO-related issues, Colonel Oleksander Motuzyanyk. Good day, everyone. To your attention is the information from the ATO area. In Lugansk area, it was complete lull. The militants didn't violate ceasefire. In Donetsk area, it was quiet at Svetlozarska Duga, and in the suburbs of Gorlivka, Zaytsevo, Mayorsk, and Novgorodsk. During the last 24 hours, the enemy opened fire both at day and during the night. They used small arms, grenade launchers, and there was one episode of the use of the mortar of 82mm caliber. And it happened near Zaytsevo from the distance, and it lasted for 2.5 hours. In the front line between Gorlovka and Lisanovata, the enemy opened fire at our positions in Verkhny Taretsk and Troitsky. And the militants they also fired from Krasny Partizan, that is militant stronghold. And the situation was the worst in Donetsk suburbs. They used grad system, and that is situated in Staromykhailovka, and that is in the line of contact. 3 shells were launched at Krasnogorivtsi, 9 at the city council of Gernik, and that is at the distance of 14 kilometers from the front line. So the provocative actions from the side of the militants are conducted along the contact line. In Krasnogorivka, they used 82mm mortars and APC-2. In the Mariupol area, there were some night shelling in Shirokina, and there were also the 3 mortar shelling, and they used it for provocative actions. They also used small arms. During these 24 hours, no Ukrainian servicemen were killed, but 3 were wounded. In Drushkivka, Donetsk Oblast, SBU detained an enemy agent who took photos of strategic facilities, such as bridge. The detained is the resident of Kramatorsk who went to Russia in 2014-2015, and he also went to Russia and in controlled territories, and he was there recruited. Law enforcement officers found a map of Drushkivka where the places of Ukrainian deployment were marked. Also marked were bridges and other important facilities. And also in his photo camera, they found important maps of the important facilities. And also in Donetchina, SBU detained a resident of Russia who helped illegal groups, and he tried to establish a network. Now we are hearing his confessions. I'm the resident of Donetsk Oblast, and in 2015 I was recruited by DPR, who said that he is a colonel of Russian Federation, and my tasks were to collect intelligence data and also to create subversive groups and their financing, and recruiting of the law enforcement officers of Ukraine to work for the services of DPR and Russian special services, and also establish contact with law enforcement officers, and also to to help to establish a relationship with them. And when I left to Ukraine, they instructed me, and they established also communication with me when I came back. So they also
near the village of Katerinivka in Mariinka district of Donetsk region, the law enforcement officers and policemen find three grenade launchers in the tree belt area, RPG-22, 9 hand grenades and 26 rounds to the grenade launcher. Also in the derelict building in the village of Verkhantarelskaya near Sunovatsky district, they seized from the cache an anti-tank mine and 120 millimeter mortar mine and anti-personnel mine and 2 hand grenades and TNT blocks. In the area of Lugansk generation plant in the town of Shastya, special troops found 12 ammunition rounds for a grenade launcher RPG-7, 4 grenades F1 and 5 kilograms of TNT and 320 cartridges of 14.5 millimeters caliber. The volunteers help our defender, the Odessa charity organizations, yet again transfer the valuable aid to ATO forces, in particular military units which are in active service in the ATO area, received 46 sets of cold weather uniforms, underwear, socks, cold weather pants, jackets and gloves. And the volunteers also brought several kits of night sights. In the Rivne region, the armed forces of Ukraine are now conducting tactical training using the motorized infantry brigades, cannonry units of anti-aircraft defense, and also army aviation and other forces. During 5 days, the servicemen trained in defensive actions, preparing and conducting attacks and withdrawal from action. That's all for today. Do you have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Colonel. Reuters, we have the following question. Yesterday in the briefing, the Colonel Lysenko said if the shellings proceed and the situation would worsen, then Ukraine would return the cannons and artillery units to the front line. And what are the criteria? How many shellings should take place so that Ukraine return its weaponry to the front line? The first criteria is attacks of our enemies. Our task is to defend the front lines. If the militants attack us, it depends on the amount of forces and kind of weaponry which would be used by the militants. So respectively, the ATO forces are ready to defend, to return the fire, but we would observe the Minsk agreements so that we maximum fast can return the weaponry which have been withdrawn and to return the fire. The fifth channel, what towns came under the precision fire and where the non-precision fire took place? The Donetsk direction was under precision fire. In Mayorsk, Zaitsev, Novgorodsk, near Zaitsev and Novgorodsk, our servicemen were wounded. It was precision fire there. Are there any more questions? Could you tell us, please, our servicemen do the return fire. The commanders on the front line, they are empowered to return fire depending of the provocative actions from the part of the militants. If the fire is precision fire, aiming fire, this fire gets the target. And if the place from which the enemy conduct the fire is identified, and also if there is no civil population in that place, then they may return fire. As I already said, there are many provocative shellings and fire with non-precision fire. In those cases, we do not return fire. Are there any more questions? If there are no questions, we would finalize the briefing. The next press briefing will be at 1 o'clock p.m.